Welcome to the AutoSuccess Executive Spotlight. I'm your host, Brian Ankney. Today my guest is Jeremy Miller from Poly. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Let's get started with a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the career path that led you to where you are today with Poly.
Yeah, so my name is, like you said, Jeremy Miller. I am from the great state of West Virginia, small state. Grew up in a coal miner's home. And when I got out of the Marine Corps, when I was 21, I answered an ad in the paper to sell cars. And in Morgantown, West Virginia, back when you used to check the paper to do that sort of thing. But so anyway, I went and interviewed and started selling cars in Morgantown, West Virginia, and that's where it all started. And eventually I got in the insurance business about 10 years later and opened up an insurance agency and was very successful at that. And then went with a company on the corporate side of insurance and managed agents and sales and leadership and was actually putting agencies inside of dealerships, and then had an awesome opportunity to come over to Poly when it was formerly known as Dealer Policy, and became the vice president of sales, and been leading a team of performance managers for about the last year. And we just basically enjoy doing it. I love it because I get the best of both worlds of both career paths I chose from car business and insurance, and I get to marry the two together. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice. I'm really excited to come to Morgantown later this year because finally, our teams get to play each other again. The UC Bearcats are coming to Morgantown to play West Virginia.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's a better show than our game, our first game, season opener with Penn State. So yeah, I hope the Mountaineers perform a little better.
Cool. I'll see you there.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope so.
Let's talk about dealerships and interest rates. Interest rates continue to go up and up and up and up, and it's really impacting customers because last time I checked, everybody's a payment buyer, So. How can dealerships help their customers to afford vehicles with the interest rates going up?
Yeah, when interest rates are down, obviously you can sell more car, hold more front end gross, and the customer gets the payment they can afford. And I think you said it best. Coming out of a house where I have four drivers that are still on my insurance policy, so I get it. You're trying to find every penny you can. So inflation has certainly had an impact in the car business, and it's done like a 180 paradigm. It's done a shift, right, from what it was 2 years ago, where they were just kind of calling your number, and that's what the customer was paying. Now interest rates have made an impact on that. So that's what I love about what I do is we're helping dealers in solving for some of those, finding that money in that budget. When we started selling cars in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, the old adage was, all right, so what you're saying is if I get you to $500 a month, you'll take this car today, right? That's what you're saying. And then, you go back to your manager, and the manager's like, well, I'll give another $500 on the trade, or I'll take $500 off here. What Poly does in that situation is it gives an opportunity for us to really see, okay, are you paying what you should be paying for your auto insurance? And we can do that any part during the sales process.
Okay, so what you're saying is to help get my overall automotive budget, within what I can afford. We can save a little money on the insurance in order to accommodate a little bit higher payment because of interest rates.
Exactly. Yeah. Because ultimately it's when you come in as a customer, you have a budget, right? And you're like, okay, all I can afford after the rent's due and this is due and this is due, I can afford this much payment. And so you got a couple options as a car salesperson in that moment when you realize, oh man, I showed the customer the wrong car. Now I have to unsell this car and put them in a lesser vehicle so we can get into their budget. Before you do that, there's solutions like Poly available to the sales team.
A lot of people keep their insurance agent for a long time. 20 years, 30 years, even more. And you know that. You know that because you were an insurance agent.
Yes.
That was your goal, right?
Right.
You didn't want to sell all your business every month. It's not like the car business.
Right.
The whole idea is to get them and keep them.
Exactly.
How do you pry those customers away from their insurance agent that they've their kids play football with them and their parents buy insurance from them? How do you do it?
It's not easy, right? There's a lot of people are loyal, and I respect that, right? Like you're exactly right. That's what we all want, is that loyal customer that's not going to purchase from someone else. And I think it's all in the way when Poly is presented, or that transaction or whatever that's at in the sales process is, when a customer says, I've been with State Farm for 40 years, I'm good, right? And it's not to say like if the salesperson says, would you like a quote on your insurance? 99% of the time, that customer is going to say, no, I'm good. I got a guy. I got a company. But if you present it in a way and say, hey, look, my XYZ dealership here, we partner with a company called Poly. And Poly just makes sure you're paying what you should be paying for your auto insurance. There's no obligation. You get a quote. We'll show you quotes from several carriers. And just keep in mind, like, these aren't carriers that are fly-by-night carriers that started yesterday. These are top 10, carriers in the country. So let's just see what you're paying. If you're paying what you should be, there's no obligation. I have had a situation just 6 months ago in like the Northeast area, up in the Philadelphia area, where a customer literally cried when she found out how much she was saving on her insurance. And we had a testimonial from the sales guy about it, because he was kind of I don't believe in this thing. The day he decided to give it a shot is the day he made a customer for life, because she was just like blown away. Like, I cannot believe you guys just saved me this much money.
Wow, how much? Yeah. Do you know how much it was?
I can't remember. It was over $1,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
Is what it worked out
That's
to be
pretty
for
significant.
that customer. Yes. So again, I know, like, and again, there's wonderful companies out there that customers, and we're not. We just want to truly. The idea is make sure you're paying what you should be paying. There may be situations where that salesperson has to say, look, looks like you got a great rate where you're at. Like, stay where you are. But at least you tried, right? Like, at least we went to bat for you and to see if we could get you a better rate.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe with today's society, more of us buy insurance online, and we never meet the agent. And so there's probably as many people that have no loyalty, and then they look at it like a commodity, as there are that do. So there probably is a great opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you got to think like, and that's the thing. Like, we still with Poly, even though it's not like it's a dump and run, right? We're selling the policy, but there's still a service after the sale. They're still getting the follow-ups and we're doing the policy reviews, and they can reach out to most of our carriers. They can reach out to online or call the 800 number to our carriers. Like I said, it's really cool knowing, like, I can say with confidence, because I've represented some main insurance carriers when I was selling insurance, and that's a confidence you have as an agent, like knowing that claim is going to be paid, right? When the customer has a claim, knowing they're going to do the right thing by the customer. And I can confidently say today that Poly has the same type of carrier relations. Like, we have carriers that are genuinely good carriers that are great, at taking care of the customer in the end. So
nice. Let's talk about the dealership's benefits again. Aside from the opportunity to maybe get, to make it affordable for the customer to buy the car they want, what other benefits are there for the dealership?
Yeah, as I mentioned, like, in the process, a lot of times people think the insurance conversation needs to happen once the customer says yes, right? If you're in a negotiation process and you're going back and forth, there's opportunity to make front end gross, right? Like, if you kind of put things on pause and say, hey, look, before I go back and ask, because I don't think there's any more money left on the table here, Mr. Customer, what are you currently paying for your auto insurance? I'm paying $225 a month. We partner with a company called Poly. Poly just make sure you're paying what you should be paying. Let's put in some information here and see what the quotes come back at. Oh my gosh, we're $199. So we're saving you that $25 that's bugging you right now. You want to connect to an agent so we can make sure that's what it is. They can go ahead and write you the policy today. So we just saved $1,000 or more on the front end gross, right?
Absolutely,
because we just saved them $25. So, and the other side of that, customer says yes to buying a car. We save them money. They go into the F&I department. What's really cool is we have integrations out there. We're integrating with several companies with F&I menus where the F&I manager can see Poly savings of $63, and the customer sits down in the F&I box and says, and the F&I manager say, hey, looks like you saved $63 a month on your auto insurance. That's fantastic. Great news is I got this extended warranty that I can get to you for. It just raises your payment an extra $18 a month or whatever that is.
Yeah.
But it allows you to sell more on the back end. And so typically we do see a lift in the PVR for the dealership when they do have a customer that switches to Poly.
No, I wouldn't have thought of that. That's interesting.
Yeah. That what's in it for me, right? Everybody listens to that radio station, and that's what's in it for the dealer. It's not, because again, we're not going to make millionaires out of dealers with Poly insurance on the insurance side, right? But we are potentially going to make a lot of revenue for that dealer on the PVR side, the front end growth side, if it's used correctly. And what's nice is we are sharing. We have models out there. We share commission. Like, dealership gets a property and casualty license. We have models where we share a percentage of our commission on new business and renewal. Mm-hmm. We're paying the salesperson. What's unique about us versus like some of the other models that out there, every qualified person that connects to an agent and has a discussion about rates, there's a referral fee that's paid to that salesperson.
Really?
So yeah, so the salesperson gets money, the dealership's making money, the customer's saving money. It's a win-win-win for everyone, and Poly's gaining a customer. So
well, you had said with the dealership for the ones that get the different insurance licensing. What about the ones that don't? Like, what's that compensation model?
yeah, so it's very simple. If you don't want the hassle of getting someone licensed, we have the unlicensed model, and there's a flat rate referral fee that it's not much, but it's because the regular insurance is regulated obviously, and states regulate the amounts that we can pay. So it varies by state. So it could be $25 that we pay to a manager. Sometimes dealers, what they'll do is they'll take that $25, let the two desk managers split that $25, and then could be $25 to the, depending on state, could be $25 to the user as well. So it's $50 essentially that we're giving on the unlicensed model to the manager and the salesperson.
So if they do get the licensing, then the compensation is even better.
Yeah, because you're, essentially in insurance, that's what you're kind of building that annuity, right? You're getting that book. As you sell policies and they renew, we're building this book of business. And of course, the larger the book, the more in renewal premium commission that you make. So, and that's our job as a partner to the dealers, is we want to make sure that we're helping them understand and we build a profitable book. Easiest person in the world to sell insurance to is person doesn't have any. It's not necessarily the best insurance customer. So it's important that we get those customers that you were talking about with the 30, 40 years of having the same agent. That's the customer everyone wants, right?
Yeah.
Because they typically don't have claims, they pay their premiums, they're loyal. I mean, that's who we're trying to get over into the book of business. So, and that's that profitable book size that stays there, and you can have renewals coming in.
Well, dealerships, there have been several companies over the years that have tried to have dealerships offer insurance to their customers. I mean, it makes sense. You have, hundreds of people that come in every month looking at cars. You have 100 people that come through your service department every single day. So you've got a lot of drivers in a car dealership. So it's kind of been a target for a lot of insurance companies, and some have tried and failed, and some dealers don't have a great taste in their mouth. What makes you guys different, and how do you make sure your dealers are successful?
What makes us different is we our model lets the dealer do what they do best, and they sell cars. We sell insurance. A dealer in our model, even if they're licensed and we're sharing commissions on new business and renewal, they don't have to follow up with the customer at renewal and say, hey, your premium's going up, or it looks like you had an accident, looks like little Johnny's coming up, got his license, whatever it is. We take care of that. And the models that you're speaking to, those were very, you had to open a full-blown insurance agency. There's, license, there's regulations, there's continued education, there's staffing, there's E&O. I mean, there's so much stuff that you have to do, and it takes your focus off of what you're good at, and that's selling cars. And we're good at selling insurance, and we're good at understanding the pain points. And that's what I love about Poly. The one thing I know Poly does is we have people that are familiar with the industry, and we understand the pain points that dealers face. Have. Yes, and that makes our job helpful when we can become a resource and sort of solve for that. So,
I'm just kind of curious. I mean, so when a customer comes in, they're working a car deal. Somewhere in the car deal, you're offering them the opportunity to verify that they're paying what they should for insurance. Are there any other touch points in the dealership where you have dealers that are offering? I mean, like say service or parts or body shop or.
We do have some. I mean, I think when there's a dealer that gets that, and there's because we do have. We have explored the opportunity in the service departments. You got to think though, sometimes the service customer mentality is a little different, right? Person that's buying a car, their emotions are high, they're excited, they want to go, they're thinking about who they're going to show the car to first. The person sitting in the service lounge might have just been told that their transmission is not under warranty. So probably not the best time to offer them an insurance quote. But we do have table tents, QR codes. There's Poly swag that we have throughout the dealership, marketing material where if a customer's waiting, they can see them. Like, what is this? We're even on dealers' websites, on banners. We can, as they click through inventory, there'll be a Poly ad. So our goal is maybe the customer gets more familiar with Poly. Our goal would be, eventually, Poly's just part of every dealership's buying process. And the customer knows when they go get insurance, oh, they'll have Poly. I can just get it taken care of there. And that's what we'd like to see. But no, you're right. I mean, there's lots of opportunities. Rental departments, like when people need insurance and service and body shop, maybe a customer's upset with their current carrier because of the treatment they just had from an adjuster. And if
those might not be the best drivers to insure, though, right?
Yeah, that's true. They're in a body shop. Maybe it's not their fault.
It wasn't their fault. Yeah.
That's the one we're hoping for.
Yeah.
The one that
were
was
you
not
at fault? Never mind.
Never mind. We didn't want you as a customer. But yeah, so just to your point, there's lots of touch points and outside of the sales department. We're really focused on making that sales experience great right now, and our product and Poly's product team they're working so hard right now just to deliver a much better customer experience. And not it's good, but we want to be like great, right? And so they're spending a lot of time just enhancing things all the time. Our CEO, our product team, they're phenomenal. And they I go in the field a lot, so I'm in a lot of dealerships. We're in over 1,700 dealerships throughout the country. And I feel like I've been in all of them in the last year. But it's, they get with me, they get feedback. I give them the feedback from our dealers, our managers, the salesperson, like what are your pain points? What can we do to get better? And we take that feedback back to our product and engineers, and they take notes. And the next thing I know, they're telling me a few weeks later, like, hey, we fixed that. We're going to make it this way. So that's what's really fun about Poly is, we just want to make this experience great for the customer, obviously, but for our dealerships more importantly. So,
it does make sense. You don't go to a suit shop and buy a suit and then go to a belt shop and buy a belt, right? You get them both at one place, and you can't drive off the lot without insurance. So,
yeah,
it does make sense that it's a need that dealers have, and if they can make some money doing it while they're at it, why not, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have some great F&I partners out there that see the value in it, and they're bringing it to the table with their dealers, and so it's I think everyone is sort of grabbing a hold of it and saying, yeah, okay, this makes all the sense in the world to be part of the car buying process, the insurance transaction for sure.
Cool. Well, is there anything more you'd like to share with our audience today, Jeremy?
No, we're excited. I know we're heading out to NADA. I think it's Vegas this year, so we're excited about that. So look for us out there, and please stop by the booth, say hello to us, and we'll be glad to give you a demo if you're not one of our dealers. If you are one of our dealers, stop by. I'm sure we'll have some coffee or something. We'd love to sit down and catch up with you.
Yep. Well, and 1 week after NADA, the Bengals will be playing in the Super Bowl there in Vegas.
Yeah, that might be
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, after the show up this week, I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see. It's going to have to. They're kind of like the Mountaineers right now. We'll have to see how they turn it around. So.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Hey, I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for taking the time to join us for this AutoSuccess Executive Spotlight. I'm your host, Brian Ankney. Today, my guest has been Jeremy Miller from Poly. We hope to see you again soon. This episode is Over the Curb and Burning Gas.